It rained today, so you know what that means. Winter is coming. Welcome back, you guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's not winter, but because it's raining, I feel like it's sweater weather, even though I'm in a sports bra and it's hot and sunny again. Regardless, the rain inspired me to create my first fall makeup look of the season, and I also made it all completely drugstore per your guys' request. I was really inspired by this look Patrick Ta did on Emily Ratajkowski the other day. It's always, my iPhone doesn't really translate well on screen. I'll put it up right here. I drew inspiration from this photo. So if you guys are interested and want to see how I create this look, keep on watching. I'm going to be using the Maybelline SHAYLA palette today. Seriously, so exciting. This is an incredible collab. It's hashtag collab goals. I'm going to start by priming my eyelids with the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer by Wet n Wild. And then I'm also going to apply a little bit of my foundation to the, or like around the eye, so that way when I do my eyeshadow and then go back in with foundation, I won't have to ruin the eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the COVERGIRL VITALIST Healthy Elixir Foundation. I used this in another video. I don't know what happened to my lighter shades. This one's too dark for me, so forgive me. I'm mixing it with a non-drugstore foundation, but this foundation just works really well with this one to lighten it up and not really change the finish. So I'm using my Koh Gen Do Aqua foundation, which is extremely expensive and not drugstore at all. But I'm going to go ahead and mix these together to just lighten the COVERGIRL foundation. So then I'm grabbing the foundation and just applying it over the eyes, all over the eyes. I was just gonna do inner and outer corner, but I'm just gonna go all over. And then I'm taking an old favorite of mine, the Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder. I like this one over the newer ones. I just feel like, I don't know, it reminds me of the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. So I'm gonna use this to just dust it onto the brow bone and outer edges to make blending a lot easier. And the first color I'm using from the palette is this brownish purple shade. I'm just gonna really pack it onto the lid. So all I'm gonna do is pack this color onto the lid, and once I have a good amount of color on the lid, I'm gonna start blending it up towards the crease using the same brush, and then if I need to, I'll switch over to a clean one just to make blending easier. Fixed my camera settings again. I think you can see it better now. I think before it was too bright and it was washing everything out, so hopefully now you can see the eyeshadow. So all I did was just really buff this out. And then from here, there's also a nude bone colored eyeshadow in here. You can use this to further blend it out, but I kind of like the way this is looking. So I'm just gonna keep buffing out the outer edges with the clean blending brush and a little more of that Maybelline translucent powder. It's definitely looking more plum, which is what I expected, but still gonna try and create a similar look to Emily Ratajkowski's from that photo that Patrick Ta did. And then I'm gonna go in with this black shadow and apply it really close to the lash line, upper and lower, to create more of that smoky effect. And to blend out the edges, I'm actually gonna pick up some more of that brown shadow and buff that on top. And then just reapplying some more black. But just go back and forth between the brown eyeshadow and the black eyeshadow to get the desired smokiness level on the lash line. I'm gonna give this moisturizer a try. I've had it for a while, but I haven't used it. This is the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm with sunscreen. It's an antioxidant super moisturizer. Okay, no. Oh no. This one for sure has a fragrance in it, and like a really strong one. Oh, I regret putting it on my skin. Okay, it's too late now. I'm just gonna use it anyway, but oh man, the fragrance in this is so strong. And it kind of burns too. I'm gonna wipe this moisturizer off because it is actually burning my skin at the moment. Probably because I just wiped my skin too with that cotton pad. So give me a moment. Instead, I'm gonna be using this NEUTRAGENA Hydra Boost Gel Cream. I think I've used this one before. It's for extra dry skin and it doesn't have a fragrance in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this all over. For foundation, I'm again mixing the COVERGIRL VITALIST Healthy Elixir and the Aqua Foundation just to tone down the color. I know that this comes in my shade. I don't know what happened to the lighter color that I had. So I'm gonna go ahead and combine these two and apply it to the skin with a sponge. So when I combine the two, it looks like that. Nice olive tone. And I'm gonna apply it with my fingers just a little bit first, so I don't waste any product. And then I'll blend it out with the sponge. Pretty sure the COVERGIRL foundation also has a strong fragrance, but typically the moisturizers, like the skincare, that really affect my skin. Foundations never really burn my skin or feel irritating. It's always the skincare. Eye creams, serums, moisturizers. I'm gonna use a small amount of the Photo Focus Concealer by Wet n Wild in the shade Medium Peach, just to brighten this inner corner part of the eye. And then to conceal and highlight the center of the face, I'm using the MILANI Retouch Plus Erase Light Lifting Concealer. I'm using the shade Medium Light. So my concealer broke. It used to have this little sponge that you could easily just apply it directly from the product. So I had to dispense a little on my palette in case you're wondering why I'm applying it with a brush. And then again, I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder to set everything in place, especially the under eyes so that they don't crease up. And then on the rest of the face, I'm using a little poof. Using the poof just uses less powder. Whenever I use a sponge, I feel like I'm packing on powder to the face, and a brush just doesn't really press it in. A poof just, it works wonders. Now to bronze everything up, I'm using the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This is shade Bronzer. I'm pretty positive there's another color, but this one's called Bronzer. So I'm gonna start warming the skin up because, as always, I'm looking pale after powder. Bronzer is still an essential year-round, not just during summer. It just adds definition, warms up the skin. Always gotta have bronzer. And since we're going super glam today, let's also further chisel out the cheeks. So again, the translucent powder and the sponge that I used to apply my foundation, I'm gonna take that and just carve out the cheeks. Use the edge of your mouth as a guideline. So I go that way and then I bring it back. And while we let that sit for a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bronzer to the sides of the nose. I'm also gonna carve out the nose because I went a little too crazy with the bronzer there. So same thing that I did with the sides of the cheeks, I'm gonna do with the nose, but I just need a smaller brush. So I'm just taking that powder and gliding it along the side of the nose. If you ever try to contour your nose with powder or add bronzer and it's making your nose look wider, like you accidentally went too far out, just do this trick with the powder and it should fix the problem. This has been my go-to blending brush. This one and the one by Japonesque, not Haponesque. Thank you guys for correcting me on my last video. These two are great. I just really like the shape. They work the same, both equally. Well, I think they're both pretty similar. I just like the shape. They work really well. I gave myself a mist of this rose water and glycerin spray because I was feeling more powdery than normal and I wanted you guys to see what the makeup looks like when it didn't look so powdery. Normally I would wait because I still have to add other powder products, but I couldn't help myself. But I think I'm gonna go back and finish the eyes now so that the skin can dry a little. I don't want to start adding powder on top of this right now. So let's move on to the eyes, or finish the eyes. For the lower lash line, it's going to be super easy. I'm just going to repeat the same colors, the brown shadow and the black shadow to the lower lash line, starting off with the brown one. I always like to start by pressing it in first to reduce fallout since we already have our base done. And once I have it on there, I'll blend it out. So now that it's on there, I'm taking a clean blending brush and buffing it out. And then with a small precision brush, I'm gonna apply the black shadow really tight to the lash line. I'm also gonna reapply some more to the upper lash line just to deepen up the black shadow. And I'm grabbing a fluffy blending brush and just buffing out this outer edge because I don't like how it's looking really sharp right there. I wanna buff it out. Again, if you need help, you can always grab some more of that translucent powder to further blend this out. Now we want to make this even more smoky, especially around the rim, just like Emily Ratajkowski had in her photo. So I'm using this black liner by RIMMEL. It's called the Scandaleyes Waterproof KHOL Pencil in black. And I'm just going to apply it to the lower and upper waterline and then blend it out past the lash line to further deepen up that black shadow. While I debate over whether to add false lashes or not, I'm going to fill in my brows, and I want to keep them pretty light. So I'm going to start by using the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer, and then after that just fill in any sparse areas with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in Brunette. So let's see how this goes. And I decided I am going to use lashes. I'm going to use these EYELURE lashes. I'm pretty sure these are drugstore. I think I've seen them at Ulta in the drugstore section. I'm not sure. But I'm going to use these. They're very similar to the Ardell Wispies. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these on and then apply mascara on top of them to make them look more natural and blended in. I'm going to be using the Voluminous Lash Paradise Waterproof Mascara. This stuff freaking stays on your eyes. Last time I used it, I could not get it off, even with the cleansing oil. So I'm kind of nervous to use it again, but it works. All right, now it's back to the skin really quick. I'm gonna add an all over glow using this MILANI Sunlight Spotlight Face and Eye Strobe Palette. And what I'm gonna do is just sweep it onto the high points of the face. It has 3 different colors in here. I'm not gonna grab any of the pink shade, just the lighter and the more bronze one. Just lightly sweep it across the entire face, almost using it like a finishing powder. And for blush, I'm debating between these two right here. I love BELLINI, but it can be a little too intense sometimes, but why not? Let's just do BELLINI, it's my favorite. Plus I'm doing a nude lip. I was gonna do something vampy, but I kind of want to stick with the Emily Ratajkowski look, so we're gonna go in with this pinky blush and a pinky nude lip as well. This is really shimmery, however, so if you don't want to be that glowy, I mean, look at that, it's like a highlighter on your cheek. I would go for something else. And then to highlight, I'm using, obviously, the Master Chrome by Maybelline. I'm using a small eyeshadow brush so I can just apply it to the high points of the face. And then I'm again taking that blending brush that I was using earlier and just making sure everything looks really well blended. The highlight, the blush, the bronzer. And then for a lip, I have been loving this lip liner by L'Oreal. It's shade number 114 Matte Ink Haul, but it's spelled Matte Ink Haul. It's just like a perfect nude. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline my lips with this first. And then I think I'm gonna combine these two L'Oreal Infallible paints to create a dusty nude versus like something that's like super, super pink or super taupey. I'm using 342 Tongue Tied and 340 Skinny Dip. Oh, this lip liner is so good. It just glides on. It reminds me of the ColourPop lip liners, like super, super creamy. And one of my favorite nude colors also. These are those two colors mixed together. You can see it's like not too pink, not too brown. I'm just hoping it doesn't come out too dark because I want it to be super nude. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect! This is my first time wearing this lip formula and I feel like it's a little sticky. So I'm also gonna add some of this Unreal Vivid Hot Lacquer Gloss by Maybelline on top. I normally don't like to do a gloss over a liquid lipstick, but I got it this time. And then to set everything in place, I'm gonna mist myself with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray. So I switched out the lip for something even more nude because the other lip color, when I was smacking my lips together, it was separating. It almost looked like jello. It's hard to explain. It was like chunks of the lipstick were missing. So instead I'm wearing Maybelline's Hot Sand Matte Lipstick number 530 and still the same lip liner and Unreal Gloss on top to get this super nude glossy look. What is happening to my hair? All right, so this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this all drugstore fall makeup tutorial. It's getting me excited for more dramatic looks. I know you guys missed them. I've been reading some of the comments, but like I mentioned before, don't worry, they're coming. Halloween is coming, so stay tuned. And of course, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my future uploads. Is there lipstick on my teeth? Yes, there is. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.